Hi, everyone. My name's Lizette, and I'm today's guest host for Donate for Refugees. And with me, I've got Rando Wagner of One Human Race, a good friend of mine and the founder. And we'll be chatting a little bit. Hi, Rando.
Hi, Lisette. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
Tired?
all right. A little bit, yeah.
Well, thanks for joining me today, and thank you for everybody for joining us here on Facebook Live. So if you do have any questions or comments, please, you know, put them in the comment box, and we'll read them out towards the end of the talk. Now, Rand is a well-known volunteer in the world of refugee support. So some of you may know him already, but hopefully we will know him a little bit better at the end of this.
Hi, everyone. And I think we're both a bit nervous, so bear with us. I'm going to quickly introduce Lisette as well. Lisette and I are actually colleagues in our day job. We've known each other for nearly 20 years. And about 2 years ago, I think I was struggling with the online admin, and Lisette was running a very large Facebook group already. So she offered to help me, which then developed in Lisette actually coming to Athens herself and becoming the cool auntie for a lot of Yemeni and Syrian boys who arrived from Greece in Holland. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's how we know
Back
each
to you,
other.
Lisette.
So if let's get started, really. You're
Yalla.
in Athens right now, so what are you doing there at the moment?
Right now, the center of my work and One Human Race work in Athens is running a housing project for 18 young, mainly Syrian, as well as some Palestinian and Iraqi young men, aged 18 to 30. That's the centerpiece of the work for One Human Race. And then on the side, we support a Lavrio camp outside Athens. We support homeless refugees at Victoria Square and many individual refugees who we get requests from their family members in Europe or from other volunteers.
Okay, so we'll come back to the flat and all that a little bit later on, but in a little bit more detail. But do you have any fixed plans? Do you have any goals with One Human Race?
No, it's the easy answer to that one. It's from the beginning on, it was kind of based on flexibility and fluidity as the refugee crisis developed. I never went into this with any plan whatsoever, and I never wanted to set up an NGO or an organization. And I still, 5 years or 6 years later, I still don't want to, because it allows us to operate differently to registered NGOs, official NGOs. We can kind of fill the gaps they can't fill. So
Just more the flexibility of jumping in when needed.
yeah, that's been kind of the unwritten ethos of the work.
Okay, so is that how you got started? Did you just start and jumped in, and where did it start?
Okay, so yeah, it's a bit of a longer story, but it's worthwhile telling. I think this explains everything. I saw the refugee crisis developing in 2015. Saw the news, people walking across the Balkans, and I saw a friend of mine, Australian friend of mine. He posted on Facebook, traveling around Serbia, ended up helping refugees at the border with Croatia. So I messaged him. He sent me a contact number in Belgrade, contacted this young lady, and the next day I flew to Belgrade. Had to change planes in Vienna. In Vienna, I got a message from this lady going, our truck broke down. We can't go to the border for the next 5 days. I was only going there for 4. I went, oh, F, what am I going to do? So she gave me a number of a lady called Christina from the Slovak team. That's all I had. And she said, join them at the border. So when I landed in Belgrade, I messaged this lady. She said, yeah, come and join us at the border. I said, I've got some donations with me, some money. I was given, shall I buy some food? She gave me a list of food to buy. And then I was driving through the Serbian countryside at like 2 o'clock in the morning, arriving at all these police blocks before the border. And, no big signs up, no cars allowed to pass and all this. And so I went to speak to the police. And I said, oh, I'm joining Christina from the Slovak team at the border. And he goes, oh, Christina, I know her, gave me a shot of whatever they were drinking and let me pass. So that all happened. When I got up to there's about 10 kilometers, people just walking along the road, all these, thousands of people are walking. I got to the top, I found the Slovak team, never met this Christina lady, but gave them all the food on board, and then saw all these people in wheelchairs, mothers and babies walking up this road. So I drove back down to the police checkpoint and said to the guy who I met before, "Can I help these people? Can I drive them? You know, the vulnerable people?" And he said, "Sure." Gave me a high-vis coat and said, "Do whatever you want." You know, and they helped us. I had like 9 people in the car, 10 people in the car, and that was what I was doing for the next 28 hours, just driving up and down that road. So, yeah, everything fell into. I think from then on, this is exactly how everything happened.
But when it happens, you deal with it. And
that's it. Yeah.
make a plan. Yeah.
And cooperate with people, but don't work with any organization. Like cooperate with organizations, but don't actually work for anybody or.
No, you've got your own plan. You do your own thing, and then cooperate with other organizations. Sometimes same sort of organizations, very grassroots.
Or even the big ones at the border, there was MSF and stuff. They were not allowed to transport people. For example, I was literally given that permission, but on the day by a drunk policeman. But so
just going for it when it's needed. So let's jump forward a little bit, or completely to now, 2020. As you said, you have the flat. Can you just tell me a little bit, or tell all of us a little bit more about how that works? What happens there?
Okay, I'm going to basically we're housing 15 guys in one flat, and then 3 others, including a severely disabled young Syrian in a flat next door. And this has been developing over the last 4 or 5 years now as well. And it's basically, Lisa, I'm going to jump out of our order a little bit right here.
Go for it.
The next question. So basically, this happened in 2017, 16, 17. I was asked by a lady called Katarina, who runs the Echo Hub on Leros Island, that she asked me that 3 young men, 2 from Palestine, 1 from Syria, were coming with asylum to Athens, and with scholarships at the American University, but nowhere to live. At the same time, I met Saliem, a young Syrian who was also going to be in the same situation already in Athens, and a young Syrian who Lisette and I both very fond of, Rami, who just turned 18 at the time, and he was basically thrown on the street out of a minor shelter and overnight turned into an adult and with no support. So I had these 5 guys said, you know what, I have to rent a flat. So this is how this all came about. And from then on, it was very obvious how young single men had absolutely no support. This was obvious from the beginning, but in that moment, I really realized this is the group who needs the most help. So, over the years developed.
And that's the reason why you sort of started working with that demographic.
That's it. So this
you
kind of
developed. You could see the need for that. Yeah.
But yeah, and so this is how this current project, which is now one, big flat with 15 guys in it, developed, and it's been a live and learn kind of experience. As we have no one on the ground, they self-manage more or less, and I'm there a week a month and shout and scream, if you have to with a bunch of young men. But it's actually getting better and better over time now, and the cost of the whole. It's a minimal cost. It's like we're running this about 12,000 euros a year, 1,000 euros a month, which equates to 66 euros per young man per month. And this compares to the Greek state or the big INGOs who are given 15,000 euros a year by the EU per refugee in Greece, and people are living in tents in Moria and so on. So yeah.
Yeah. So you're showing on a very small scale that it could be very different.
It could be. Again, big NGOs can't do that because of the bureaucracy that's involved if you do this but the state definitely could, but for the NGOs it's harder.
Yeah, so some of the guys have moved on.
Yes, we've had quite a lot of success stories. There's been 180 guys more or less we've housed, I think, since 2000. It's January 2017 we started. So yeah, there's been about 180 guys, and I would say 60% have moved to other European countries, joining family or whatever, and the rest have actually moved on to independent lives in Greece, which I think they without having a secure place to live, they couldn't have found the jobs, they couldn't have made their own life. And there's some really big success stories, like Khaled, who stayed with us for 3 years. He's in his last year at university now. Saliem, he's got a really well-paid job, working, having his own house. Hashem is working on luxury yachts. and I think made about 25,000 euros last summer in tips, basically. So we've been able to help a lot of So it's been
they need a base. They need a start. They have a base, but also have peace and quiet, and they have some calm in their heads, and not have the stress of having to
being homeless doesn't you have no chance to rebuild your life. And also we do support them as well in a way of giving them, like, for legal help, medical help, language courses and all that. We push them in the right direction. We don't mother them. We don't do everything for them, because I don't think that actually is helpful, because we need to. Sorry, Lisette, sorry.
No, and I think that's one of your requirements. That's one of your requirements as well. I think that they have to do something, don't they? Either work or study, or
has to either do a course or whatever, but they can't sit around all day, which is sometimes hard to enforce. But we'll push people to do something, because if you sit up all day long, that's like living in the camps. That's what happens to people. The depression, we all know, I suppose, how that affects your mental health and everything. And there's been really successful. Sometimes when I walk in now in mid-afternoon, there are like 2 or 3 people in the house, which is like the best. Which for me is like the best success is when there's no one there during the day.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. I'm just seeing some comments here. Katrina saying hi all there. Hi Rando. Vanessa Marjorie Banks says hi, afternoon all. Lynn Brown, hi. Flip, just waving.
I can't see any of the comments. So just to let everyone know. Yeah.
Lisa is saying good morning. Flying by the seat of his pants, getting things done. Rui is saying hi, Randall is watching from Chios. Petra is watching from Citrus. Omar's just saying hi. Belinda's saying hi, Rando. Alice is saying you're a total inspiration. Zikra is saying wave of hope. Petra is saying it's that when you talk, there's a lot of noise. Sounds like you're touching your mic. Nope, hands off. Well done, Rando, from Lila. Hi, all from Qatar. Okay, I see a question here as well from Laura Darwish. Hi, I have a question. As we all know, European press is becoming increasingly. Can you hear me saying that?
Not very well, but I can hear you.
Okay. Hi, all. I have a question. As we all know, European press is becoming increasingly right-wing, having us all believe that no one wants refugees in their country. However, I try to choose to believe that people are a lot more compassionate than that. You must know many Greek people who help refugees, but can you give us some examples to balance out all the stories about local protesting against refugees and some of the violence that erupted on the Aegean Islands?
A really good question. I think no nation, no particular nation, no population is born anti-foreigners. It's good and bad everywhere in the world, right? And like you said, the press is obviously steering people's anti-refugee, or xenophobic, or anti everyone different. It's the right-wing press, like Laura says. I can say hand on heart that the most help I've had in Greece is from, and I hate to say that, it's women mainly, not men, but there's, I'm going to mention some. There's Amalia, there's Katerina, there's Sophia. There's a whole bunch of amazing Greek women who have been offered amazing amount of support. And I believe also in Greece, on the islands, I can't comment about the violence on the islands because I'm not on the islands. But the interesting part about Greece is that in the small towns, I go to Lavrio, which is a town outside Athens, the locals have absolutely no issue with the refugee camp or the people there. It seems to be in the city in Athens where there's the most the atmosphere against refugees is stronger than in the small towns, which is the opposite to everywhere else in Europe. And but on a day-to-day level, I don't think it's actually as, how to say, it's not as bad as I think the situation on the islands. There's no actual violence. I've not come across any violence in the city against refugees itself. I know there's been some demonstrations and stuff, but it's not as bad in the city as on the islands. That's all I can say about that. But I can't comment anymore on there are great people who are very
I think,
supportive.
like you're saying, people like Amalia, Sophia, Amalia being a lawyer, having knowledge as well, that really is helpful, and it's always there for, for the boys in the flat, or for whoever needs some legal advice, and it seems to be that there's a lot of local support as well.
And if there's the lack of it, if there is mainly because misinformation but it's in Greece, it's the TV, which is the main news source, like in the UK with the newspapers, but it's a TV, and watch evening news, they show Syrian families in luxury apartments. Yeah. So it's basically, which,
that's why we wanted to show the pictures. That's why we wanted to show the pictures here today as well, to say that, the flat that you have, it's not some luxury accommodation with 3-4 guys in a room. They're getting a base, they're getting a bed, they're getting food, but it's not like they're bathing in luxury. They're getting a base.
Definitely not. Yeah.
So I hope that answers Laura's question. I have Kazar Hussein saying watching from Beirut. Constantina is watching.
What was that? I didn't hear that.
Kazar Hussein is watching from Beirut. Constantina is watching from Cyprus, and as you're saying, keep it up. So that's the comments we have at the moment. I really only have one more question, and that's, you are in Athens a lot at the moment. And so can you tell us a little bit about this current affairs with people coming from the islands?
Absolutely, yeah. So since I've been able to go back to Greece at the end of June after the lockdown, this situation developed at Victoria in central Athens, where I just have to start again, sorry. The current Greek government, the fairly right-wing, some might say extreme right-wing now, Neo-Democracia government has changed the asylum laws, and people are only entitled to accommodation and financial support until 1 month after they are granted asylum. So this is mainly affecting the islands now, where currently mainly Afghan families are being evicted from the camps with absolutely no financial support, no housing support. And they're coming to Athens because they've got no other way out. And then they're camping on Victoria Square. We're talking up to 200 people at a time, newborns, babies. It's a shocking sight, literally a shocking sight when you see that. And then every few weeks, the Greek police move in, scoop them all up and put them into camp. Destination unknown. And so it's affecting 11,000 people at the moment who have been given, during the lockdown, their asylum applications were processed. So they've come out en masse with positive or negative asylum, 11,000 with positive asylum decisions. And there's very little we can do on a grassroots level about the housing situation. One of the biggest problems is that if you don't have a permanent address, you can't get a tax number in Greece. Without a tax number, you can't work. So it's a vicious cycle. And again, little we can do about it. I know many people are asking me what they can do, and I just suggest rent flats for people, which some smaller organizations are now looking into, to initially give them an address and then to allow them to move on. What I'm doing, or One Human Race is doing to do what we can do on this now, we've just set up a showering project, because there are no toilets, no showers, no running water at all available to these families on the square. And so it's taken us the last month now to find a flat very close to the square, and a young Afghan lady who will be paying to run the project, and that will allow 6 to 8 Afghan families to bathe their babies, shower every day. This is I have to thank Lisa Campbell of Do Your Part, who's financing the project, and Gabrielle Tan, Action for Women, who has helped us find the young Afghan lady. This way we're supporting another refugee, being able to give her for a few months at least, an income and a job. So this is starting, hopefully, if nothing else goes wrong, which things have been going very wrong until now, in 10 days' time, when I'm back in Athens, we'll start this. And it's a small gesture, really, but at least the newborns will be able to be bathed every second day or something. But the situation is pretty bad. It's very similar to 2015, but with nowhere to move on to. and the smaller
Yes,
numbers, admittedly,
they're
but
completely
still.
stuck.
Yeah.
Yes, so this shower project, you're going to pay this Afghan lady a little bit, so that sets her up. But obviously, you could use some donations for that as well if people want to contribute.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned that. Of course, we can use donations for everything, for all the projects, so somewhere, so, that's great. And yeah, we'll, whatever we can get, it gets used, with, yeah, it's a very, our cost base is very low, but it still needs to be financed.
Yes, so we will be putting up a donation button at the end of the interview on the link to this interview on the Facebook page. So should you want to donate, please find us there. I'm sort of through with my questions, but I do have a few things here from people watching. First of all, Lisa sends a big heart from Lisa, and Alice is saying, in the UK, once refugee status is granted, there's 1 month of support provided. However, those with a priority need, i.e. significant health issues, children, etc., are eligible for housing, which leads to a lot of single but still vulnerable refugees left destitute. How does this compare in Greece with new regulations?
Okay, the difference between the UK and Greece is that the UK has still got a not fully functioning but a welfare social safety net, whereas in Greece, that affects Greek people and refugees, there is no social safety net. If you're unemployed, there's no housing benefit. There is no, I think unemployment benefits are so minimal if you can get them, and that's only after working for quite a long, that you can't survive. Basically, there is no social safety net. That affects Greek people and refugees. So this is something the money is just not there or not in the right places.
Right.
This is not something that's the big difference between Northern Europe, I think, and Greece especially.
Greece. So I hope that answers Alice's question. She's also saying PS love from West London. So she's watching from West London. I think we're sort of through all the questions.
Yeah,
We've got lots of comments. Again, if somebody, if you want to donate, we'll put a donate button on the chat a little bit later. So feel free to help out, whether that's the new project with showers or if that's the flats. And I think maybe you want to say something to close this off?
Yeah, I've got two things like that. One thing is we've got quite a few people have asked me over the years, and all these little stories. There's so many stories about individual stories, and I've put them on Facebook over the years, most of them, and people say you should really combine them all or turn them into some kind of publication or book. And thanks to Meg Story, who was a great friend and also a copyright editor, we're now moving on to the idea of publishing some kind of book. We're like the earliest stages of this, about all the stories combined. I've never done this before, I have no idea. But if anyone is out there who is a graphic designer or has any experience publishing, any contacts, we greatly appreciate it if they get in touch. And this is like in the initial stages, so all ideas and help would be very welcome. And then also a big thank you to Amber and Donate for Refugees. I actually met Amber before she set up Donate for Refugees. And then she's done an amazing job. And without her financial support, we wouldn't be anywhere where we're now. Not her Donate for Refugees financial support. It's unique. The whole, that a registered NGO is financing a grassroots group that are not registered. I still believe completely unique. And it allows us to obviously accept donations from institutional donations or from donors who prefer to donate to a registered charity. And like Amber and the other guys from Donate for Refugees have done an amazing job. Right? There was actually a little story I want to tell, but it doesn't really fit in at all now with the thing. And that's about Amber and I searching for Sudanese refugees in the middle of the night in Patra. But I was just want to say he's done an amazing job, not just raising money, but on the ground as well. So yeah, I think there's nothing else to say, but thank you, Amber and the team, for all your support.
I'll read the last comments, and I think then that's it. So Ahmed is saying, "Hi Rando, miss you, boss." Flip was saying, it's great to hear all this, and he's thanking us both. Lisa's happy. Lisa Campbell's happy. And Saida is asking, how can people get involved, volunteering, etc.? So this sort of depends on where you are and in what kind of way you want to get involved. Involved means you have to be involved. You can't do a little bit, you have to do both. So if you can't put that full commitment in, then donating is often the far better choice, I feel.
I think the involvement takes time.
Ground, if you can't put the time in, which is fine, it's not, not everybody can. It's okay not to be able to have that time. But if you can if you can't do that and you still want to help finding worthwhile projects, and of course we're saying One Human Race, Donate for Refugees are fantastic projects. If you can't have the time, donate the money. That's what I say. That's my input.
That's absolutely, I agree with you. And the other thing is, I think the best thing also to do is join Facebook groups. There are a lot of Facebook groups depending on the country you're in. Read up on as much as you can, see what suits you best, because there's no easy answer doing, I want to volunteer helping refugees. I think
it doesn't have to be in Greece. It doesn't have to be in Greece. It can be something local, and that could be helping somebody learn a language near where you are. There are a lot of local groups, mentoring, that kind of thing. So that can be near where you are. You don't necessarily have to travel to be able to help. So
mobile telephones, collecting mobile telephones.
Mobile
telephones. If everyone needs mobile telephones, so use your social circle to collect telephones for refugees. That's
and then you get. We all read the comments about the refugees have all the modern phones. Life is on your phone. Life is on the internet. Applying for anything, whether that's housing, social security, even for getting interviews to get your refugee status, everything has to be done online. So that's the reason why mobile phones are so important. So collecting mobile phones, big help.
To close this up, you said
yes.
Prices in the UK has just announced a partnership with Tesco to provide 10,000 mobile phones and credit for homeless people in the UK, because during the lockdown they've realized that you cannot. It's like even refugees were saying, homeless people themselves in a similar situation were saying it's more important than a sleeping bag to survive a mobile phone. So to be online, basically.
Absolutely. So we're just getting a few more comments saying, well done, Rando. You're doing a fantastic job supporting and bringing hope to refugees. And Sally Hyman is saying, keep it up, Rando. And I think on that.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lisette.
Thank you so much for.
Now we can breathe. Huh?
Definitely.
Now we can breathe.
And now you can breathe. I can breathe.
And I can eat. I can eat now.
And you can eat.
Okay. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
Thank you so much for watching. And 6th of September, Floor will be interviewing Rando Wagner from Connection Up, and that will be the next live interview. So thank you all for watching.
Thank you. Bye.